Did I just... Nope, still got both ears. Haven't lost an ear yet. All right. How are things? Are we on Twitch? Yes, we are. Are we on Restream? Okay, I think we're on YouTube. And we're on YouTube. Excellent. And that's Code Hangout number 72. And let's see if chat is working. So we test. All right, so today we're looking at cleaning up our test data a little bit for our rules parser. And we're trying to add parsing for XV since I've come across a version, a puzzle where this does work. And don't look at this because that's a spoiler. So this is a positive case. So this is a regular XV puzzle and it says normal x/v rules apply. So we know some stuff passes, yada, yada, yada. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna make sure we have some passing and non-passing examples in our test set. But we're also going to exclude the other rules tests just to reduce the noise so we can focus on what we're kind of looking at. And I'm gonna make this big and I'm gonna reduce this output here. So this is just some random 30 puzzles and I found one, namely here, this one that has actual XV data. And I think, not just this one, Conway's Game of Life, right? So this is standard XV, and we also want to make sure that the XV is represented correctly in the, or represented as expected in the fpuzzles data, right? So let's have a quick look. The incoming data is this. This is the translated data. So neither of these is the actual, okay, here we go. Here we have the XVs, right? And that's these two guys. And then that gets translated into cages. Yes, we have this one and this one. So that generates these two cages. Now the problem is this puzzle, and what I'm going to do is, I don't want to lose this solution. I think I have it here. All right, then I'm going to reset here. Yeah. So if we look into this one, yeah. So basically what happens is it sees all these XVs, it recognizes them as XVs, but then the checker won't recognize a solution because it says, hey, oh, great, no. We actually do need the solution here for testing. So what can I tell you? Don't look at the solution if you haven't seen this puzzle yet, and you probably haven't because it's probably not out yet. So sorry about the spoilers. I'm going to make it small. So now if we run the checker, yeah. So now we get 6 errors, and it's basically not getting the 5 and 10 sums that it expects from the XV stuff. Now, there's a couple of ways around this. I can say, hey, just add a solution if this solution overrides, and I think that's broken as well. So we do need to fix this as well. But we also, similar to what we did with the killer cage detection, is we can potentially add code that can look at these rules. So let's limit this to a couple here that how are we going to do that? So I know this is the last one. This is the one I've just added, and I know this is our broken example, right? So this is -1. Basically what I want to do is I want to do a dot filter, and then we do the puzzle index, and then we'll just dot includes I, and I think I think the third argument is the area itself. Yeah. So we have I, and then we have air, and we can do includes air.length minus I. So -0, that's the last one. I'm gonna go in reverse order because I don't actually know. There's like 8,000 something puzzles and I don't want to figure out the exact numbers, right? So this should give us this XV, whatever. Or I just pull out the names. So we could just do... but this happens before we're actually parsing the data. Yeah, no. All right, so this is -0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13. So when I is the same as length... 1 second. If length is 10, I goes from 0 to 9. So it will never be at 0. It will be at 1. And this will be 14. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. So 22 and 25. So these 4 puzzles should be XV puzzles. Forget this one. So this should give us the XV crop key, clone race game of life, peak Sudoku size in this one. So this is our negative and we have 3 positives. Okay, this is just preliminary to get started to see what kind of texts we have and kind of rule texts we need to look into. Okay, so now in the past, to decide if something should have a particular rule, we're basically outputting XV. Okay, so I don't actually know what XV contains here. Is it just a Boolean or is it like the actual information? Okay, so the X and V's actually contain a list of XV kind of things. So basically, if fpuzzle.xv, if array.isArray+.xv, and fpuzzle.xv length is greater than 0. Because I don't know, there could be a reason why it gets added to the object, but has a length of 0, right? And then we'll do has rule. And I think this is the same thing, right? So we can do something like const. Probably all those should also be constants, but anyway. I will just pull these out here. This one, anti-king, we have killer cage, and we have XV. And in the future, this needs to be cleaned up a little bit. That just means these are a little shorter. We can do this. We can do this. And we can potentially even... Killer cage. Are these killer cages? Has rule killer cages. If we align them with this word, killer cage, XV. So instead of killer cages, right? Has killer cage. Now we'll rename that to the plural, because it could just be one, right? And then up here has killer cages. And we'll change that, has killer cage. And then we can do this a little bit more kind of like that. So we'll do this. But for each rule, and then we'll do if fpuzzle rule equals true, or array.isArray. So we're gonna just look into these two cases, if it's just a Boolean true straight up, or if it's an array and has elements in it, or isArray and length 0. If that's the case, then we'll just push that rule, and we can probably do this like that, and like that. And then we can get rid of that. Don't need that. No, we don't need that. If I do this here. Oops. 1 second. This goes here. This goes there. This goes there. This goes there. Hey, Eric. Ah! Because it looks less tidy and there's more characters, but you're right. And I'm so used to doing things in the browser where, or in large files and stuff, where the extra characters make a difference. But yeah. Okay. And then in the future, we can, as we add more rules, we probably want to multi-line that anyways. So then we can get rid of these guys, we can get rid of this one, we can get rid of this one, and we can get rid of this one, and this one. And now, that should get us all the output, unless I missed something here. Don't need that. Okay. Let's actually output these here as well. And in fact, we don't even need to do this now. Just do that. And it'll say has rule. So this one doesn't recognize any of the rules, which we'll have to double check, obviously. This one has an XV. This one has an XV, and this one has an XV. So, okay, that's actually correct. Okay, so now we can actually parse the text, and we'll just use something similar to the killer cages. We'll just look at the thing, cells separated by X or 10, by X sum to 10, all plus X and V's are given. So the last part is actually going to be something separate, and I'm going to exclude that for now. But we're going to kind of do this. And we'll include 15 and potentially in the future other Roman numeral things like 7 and 9 and whatever I've seen in the past as well. But those are kind of very rare, so I'm not kind of, you know. So, cell separated sounds by like we can reuse some of these. Right? Identical cells, two cells, cells separated. So let me just refresh my mind how we did this. We kind of use the syntax again. So this is going to be as xv. And then this will be normalized rule dot match return rules dot match. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick that in here like that. And then this is going to be, basically we're going to put the string in here and start replacing it with our, you know, bits and pieces and what we can do here. So, don't know why there's a dash, cell separated dash. Okay, that's some weird syntax right there. So, well, so let's just do this. And then you see why it doesn't like it. Oh, because I'm using the wrong regex here. I think, okay, this is in the stream just about, right? Yeah, okay, it's just a little delayed. So cells separated, digits separated by a 5, sum to be. So we have cells or digits. That's already something here. So we have cells or digits separated. Now, the string I'm looking at here that I started using here, is that from, I think I pulled it from one of these guys here. So why do we only have 3 right now? Shouldn't there be 4? 3 of 4. Past 1 of 4. Okay, so the passes aren't actually shown right now. Because I was not testing for that last time. So I think I'm hiding the passes at the moment. It's here, I believe. Pass. Rule match. Fail, fail, fail. We're failing, we're returning. If rule match. So it doesn't show negatives? Excuse me. Yeah, potentially. So what I usually do is I just start pouring in more and more test cases, and then eventually I'll just replace them with like little regex sub-expressions. The question is, where is this thing? Ah, it's here. Cells separated dash by an x sum to sum to 5. 5. All possible x and v's. So rule end, I think it expects it to be either at the end or the... So in this case, we actually need this bit, which is a bit annoying. Yeah, so that makes a pass out of this. So this is probably like a sub thing that we're going to put in there. So, little standard V. Not V, standard V. Okay, so we're not distinguishing here V's and the 10s and all that stuff. So we're going to do standard V. Is a V sum to 5, not all V's are given. Standard V colon. Is the colon a problem here? I think we don't want the trailing full stop. Yeah. Okay. And then this one is standard V. Not all V's are given. Isn't that similar to this one? Standard V. Digital V sum to 5, not all V's are given. Ah, no, it's this one. Pass, fail. Normal XV rules apply, no negative constraint. Okay, so that's the other one. So normal XV rules apply, no negative constraint. Now, one of the problems I have here is I was relying on my RE rule end, which is obviously not the case here. Which makes me wonder if the rules in the original were actually multi-line. So in other words, before the normalization. So if I output just rules here, what do I get? Standard little killer. No. So this puzzle... no, it looks like this. Okay, so I'm joining them, I think, with a line break, with spaces. So if I replace these with a tab, maybe I can regex against those better. Or I just leave them in as line breaks. Or I replace them with something like a symbol, like a dot, like a full stop or something. Or I just leave them in. Let me think. Replace. So we're removing leading and trailing spaces. Yeah, we probably don't want to remove these guys after all. So if I leave these in, this is going to cause a problem. Hey, Shelby, how are you doing? So, for example, if I do it like this, and instead, I'll put this. Now, rule end. Now, we need this to be multi-line suddenly, and it's going to make a few things more complicated. It might break all the other ones, but maybe it's the right thing to do. So, this one breaks right now. Why? Because we have this kind of situation. Let me think. Is there a good way of normalizing this? With something like this, basically, really, what this stands for, what the writer basically intends here is, this is equivalent to basically these two sentences, but I don't think this is like, it's basically supposed to be this. But I can't generalize that. And I think this being in separate lines here doesn't help me either. I think replacing a line break with a full stop might actually work. So if I do this, full stop, space, except no. Okay, let me think. We want to replace all \ns with a full stop space. That makes sense. We want to replace all multi-full stops with a singular full stop. And then we want to replace all multi-spaces with a single space. I think this is what we kind of want. Yeah, I don't want to make up test cases though, because that doesn't really help me. I'm just gonna have to make it work against the data set, the test data set, right? So this gives us something like this. And I think trailing or leading dashes we can basically remove now. I don't think they help. So we turn them into weird... The problem is it becomes then a weird sentence fragment type thing. I don't want to do like a fancy grammar parser thing here. Because basically what we also want to do is we want to replace any white space followed by a dash, followed by any white space, followed by dash with that. So we want to get rid of any leading dashes, and probably while we're getting rid of dashes, we probably also want to get rid of asterisks. Something like that, really. So then it ends up like this. We also end up with these kind of constructs. Can we... Wait a second. So if I do this first, right? Excuse me. Because we end up with blank lines, right? Probably what we then want to do is we probably want to first get rid of any white space around line breaks. And then we want to get rid of any dashes after line breaks and any white spaces there. Right? So that gets us this. Okay. Then we want to get rid of any we want to get rid of, we want to do this, right? And this will of course give us double full stops anywhere, yeah, it'll give us these guys. Then we can get rid of the double full stops like that. Or actually we can do this, I think. Then we shouldn't get any double full stops. Although we might get them later on when we're removing some spaces. Hey, Mark. Yeah, to be honest, I thought of it, but I would be surprised if that's true more often than not. Especially, you know, I cannot rely on grammar being correct and all that. Like I could, but then I would have to spend a few hours now running tests, I guess, against the data set to see if that's right or not. So I think I'd just rather build something that's mostly right and then start running it against everything, you know. Okay, is this gonna, I thought I saw multi dots still. What am I getting rid of here? I think it's supposed to be this, right? I think we might as well do this then. Right? Same thing. That should just gobble all of that up. Ah, what it doesn't gobble up is multiple line breaks. What if I do this? Hey guys, I'm streaming. All right, let's see. These line breaks, shouldn't they get replaced? I don't see why these line breaks aren't being replaced. Is that a multiple line thing? If I remove this, one sec, let me just output these both. So I can see both versions. So this is before and this is after. Now, why does that not remove the line breaks? So if I take this should remove any line break with white spaces in between, right? And it does. Okay. Now, that gives me these kind of situations. So, and we have this version, right? So if I add this bit in, that should remove any dashes in between. So it goes from this to this. Okay, and then if I do this on the other end, like this, it should remove any trailing full stops from the previous line. Okay. And if I add this. Okay, but it breaks for this guy. So let's go back to the version. I think this version didn't break for this guy. Ah, no, that doesn't work here either. Okay, where did it break? Yeah, it could be something like that. Apparently not. So now I also want... Oh, because the asterisk is inside here. An idiot. Basically. Oh, no, wait. I wanted this. One or more of those, and then any number of those. Okay, I needed this inside, but I also needed the qualifier at the back. Ciao. And okay, that does it. And here we go. So we have this goes to this. We'll have a few little guys like this, but you know, we can always say if we have colon full stop, replace it with colon. Something like that. And then this gets converted to this, but it's not removing the initial white space. So if I do this, any number of white space, followed by asterisk or this, and then any number of white space. And here, we'll just do this, right? So that should get rid of those weird things. I mean, the important thing is that the normalization is just consistent. And that gets rid of these multiple line breaks. All right, this looks pretty good, actually. Now, it might break the other regexes, so... So, CloneWay's game of life is currently not being handled. Normal error, normal XV rules apply, no negative constraint. Normal XV rules apply, no negative constraint. So this should, we probably just have to do this. And probably just do this. And nope, that still fails. Normal XV rules apply, no negative constraint. No negative constraint. Normal XV rules apply, no negative constraint. No negative constraint. Are we missing anything here? Get rid of this. If I output this. So let's take this piece of text. Let's do backticks. And then we'll add, we throw in this regular expression. And I think we might have to do this. Ugh, I'm not sure. One sec. We don't need this anymore. Well, let's just try this. Is this gonna run? No. If I just look this as a regular expression, what does it look like? I'm not sure if I need to double escape that. Wait, these aren't escaped. Ah, here we go. So I'm guessing this wasn't escaping correctly. I need double backslashes for literal braces. Yeah. I'm tempted to just use square bracket syntax there. Makes it a little bit easier, I think, to track what's going on. Although, yeah, I'm using it there already, so let's see. And pass. Okay, so that one passes now. And the other ones, pass, pass, fail. We have fail by XV crop key. Okay. XV crop key. Cells separated. Ah, because now we don't have that anymore. Cells separated full stop by an X sum to 10. Some XVs are given. All possible into 5. All possible XVs are given. Okay. I mean, I'm losing a little, by this normalization, I'm losing a little bit of potential context, which might bite me. So we'll have to be a bit careful there. I mean, they have access to the original rules text, so any individual function here can rely on line breaks or whatever. That's if that seems necessary or prudent. Okay, so that passes these tests. Okay. Now I'm sure there's a million different ways of writing this, so let's just open the floodgates a bit further. So let's go back to the last 30. Okay. Let's make this a little bigger so the rules don't wrap. Let's do it the last 50. Okay. Last 100. They're still passing, but I'm only seeing 33. Why do we have only 33? Let's see. Test data dot length is 33. Wait. There's a lot more than 33 in here. Is it 33 that have last 3 of 33? Wait a second. Test F puzzles. They're not. Oh, there are only 33 in here. Oh, I didn't realize there were that few. There are more than. Wait. Starts at 2, goes to 34. Yeah, okay, so there's only 33 in here. All right. So they pass. Well, time to open the floodgates even further. Well, we probably, yeah, we're gonna add 200. All right. So now we basically have to go back to the fails. And yeah, let's see, get a few of them. Let's see how spammy it'll get. Then we can say if not. Now the not isn't necessarily the correct interpretation for the fail, but we'll probably get something useful out of this. So actually I'm gonna make this narrower so I can have this proper width. If I'll just do this. And we probably don't need this right now. Okay. Yeah, too spammy. We're going to change that again to run 30. 30. It's because it outputs. Yeah, we don't want to output it here. We want to output it here. So this gives us a fail. Then here we're just gonna do console.log rules text. So when there's a fail, we're just outputting the rules text. And we can probably normalize it. Normalize rules. Is that how you spell that? Okay. Cells separated by backlot. Cells separated by an X sum to 10. Negative constraints do not apply. So cells over V sum to 5. So for example, something like this is a little deceptive in the future if we're starting to look at negative constraint detection. Hey, Run Planner. Yeah, I'm trying not to spoil it, sorry. I know it's not been released yet. Thankfully, there aren't that many people in the stream. So something like this, in the future, if I want to consider negative constraint, you know, this is ambiguous, right? This could mean negative constraints do not apply only for the 10 or for both, right? It's not clear. I'm gonna leave these in at the moment, but we want to, in the future, we probably wanna manage these separately. So we have RE cells, identical digits, 2 cells. So, you know what? Screw identical. I think having the word identical in there is not gonna be a big problem. So we're just gonna use that instead of here. Right, and separate it. We also have that here. Yeah, we can't use that here. I mean, it doesn't really help us much, to be honest. Okay. Sure, Mark. And tomorrow there will be one. Now that you've said it, tomorrow somebody is going to make one right away. I mean, I'm not right now. I'm not handling negative constraints anyway, so that's future me's problem. Okay. The next one, arrow wheels. Adjacent connected by. Oh my god, this is the different ways humans say things. Yeah, this really would be better suited to a machine learning approach. The digits in adjacent cells. I think we can handle that here, maybe. Like, or the digits in adjacent cells. Boom. Not the last one. That's our rule separator. How's that look? It must sum to 5. Okay. Digits xv dash separate values. Not yeah. Look, Mark. What did you say? I blame you. Let's see. Digits separate an x sum to 10. While all v's are given, not all x's are necessarily given. Yeah. There we go. There we go. So the question here now is, that's the experience I have, is like, never say I've never seen, because it's gonna be close. The two, wait, the digit in the center of a grid. What? Nice move, but not. Okay, wait a second. Let's take a look at this fella here. Oh. New Goldberg. Fail. Can we... if f puzzle dot title on console dot log if f puzzle. Nope, that's the wrong place. And this is the place. Whoop. Ah. Puzzle data. Okay. Let's just have a look at this one. Hey Marboshi, happy Monday. Oh god, okay, this is one of those all the rules all at once type puzzles, isn't it? The clues around the outside label for which type they are. The two red cells are clones. The digits in the cell cannot be right now. It doesn't apply the same digit elsewhere in the grid. But only apply to one. Yeah, so for example, this is now an issue, right? Because this one has an XV, but it doesn't mention it in the rules. So that's going to be one of those awkward cases where it's basically an exception. Because it is an XV, it's just the rules aren't mentioned. It's a pity there aren't any dates in these, how long ago they are and all that stuff. Standard rules apply for each variant. I think if it says standard rules apply for each variant, and there's XV, a recognizable XV in it, then that might pass. So this is something maybe I can do an executive decision about, sort of a global blanket, hey, handle all these rules type thing, you know? I mean, we can put it in, and then obviously our testing will tell us if we have negative cases for that. I mean, that could apply for all of them, right? Obviously. Standard rules apply for each variant. If I do this, it will pass that one. It will pass it. Better or for worse. All right. So that's up to 100, up to 50 only. Oh gosh. Yeah, I almost feel like XV has more different ways of writing it because it's actually a simpler. In the order that they appear. For unclued diagonals, pairs of digits under 5 or 10 may or may not exist. For along a clued diagonal, all contiguous pairs of digits. Oh my god. Yeah, so this is the sort of text that I hope will eventually become more generic as I find examples of similar verbiage. But obviously, this is pretty horrific from a efficiency point of view. Along a clued diagonal, all contiguous pairs of digits sum to 5 or 10. 10 are indicated in the order that they appear. Okay. X pairs. Cells can have an X must contain something to 10. Not all possible X's are giving. Okay, that's another new... Wow, this is actually so far more complex than any of the other ones that we've had. That's a little disturbing. I mean, okay, there's a lot of simplifications, you know, like... So, okay, so there's the simplifications I haven't done yet, you know, connected, separated, you know. I mean, we have separated by... Where was it? Digits... Killer cages, RE digits. RE digits, RE cells, RE digits, the digits. The digits in adjacent cells, RE digits, separated. Separated by... And what was the other word? Separated versus... Why can't I minimize? I used to be able to minimize these. God damn Sublime. Collapse, sorry, not minimize, collapse. Connected by, separated by, or connected by. And, you know, instead of by, it could also be with, I'm guessing. I mean, you know, premature optimization, all that. But, you know, that alone could already capture a bunch of other similar phrases. In fact, here's connected by. And then here's separated by. Separated by. Separated by. Separated by. Separated by. Okay. Oop. I broke it. So I keep putting full stops instead of commas here. These digits joined by an x sum to 5 or 10 respectively. Okay. It's fairly simple. And probably simplify that a little bit. I guess joined, separated, connected. Ironically meaning the opposite, but actually are interchangeably used. Sadly, grammatically, there's so many different ways of writing, connecting two phrases. And since I don't want to build a grammar parser. And also, like, this is the one rule, or one of the rules. Kropke is another one, where often a singular case is also stated. RE cells, does that cover the 2 digits? RE cells, identical, the digits, the 2 digits, the 2 digits. And then this is all optional in adjacent cells. The 2 digits. The 2 digits. The 2 digits in adjacent. To be honest, I think identical the 2 identical digits in adjacent cells, and then instead of digits, we can probably have cells here too. So this is optional. So 2 cells, identical is optional in adjacent. So that's all covered now. We don't need these anymore. And I don't think it's looping today. What? YouTube is just changing my ad personalization settings because they're not sure I'm over 18. I should be getting any ads. I'm paying for this thing. And it's... somehow I'm signed out again. Why am I signed out of YouTube while I'm streaming? Why am I signed out while I'm streaming? This is ridiculous. Now I'm signed into the wrong account. And in fact, my Sven Codes account isn't even available to switch to. I have to add it now. It's completely removed, even though that's the account I'm logged in with. Oh, YouTube. Why the heck are you doing that? Am I now logged in again? Do you now know who I am? So it wasn't... No. Why are you changing? I'm signed out again. I was signed in a second ago. Why am I signed out again? I'm signed in on one tab and I'm signed out in the tab next to it. How is that even possible? I think it was trying to show me an ad, so somehow it signed me out. And then it tried to show me an ad while I'm signed into stream, because obviously I couldn't be streaming if I wasn't signed in, so this is terrible. Yeah, it's in Chrome. I don't know what the hell it's doing. Like, it's literally signing me out in the middle of a song while I'm streaming because it's trying to show me an ad, which I shouldn't see because I have a paid account. And it can't show me the ad because it doesn't know what age I am because it just signed me out. Blows the frickin' mind. All right. What did I just break? What did I just break? Did I mess up the syntax? I think I did. Like that. Is that it? Yes. Okay. Finally. So number with a V between them. Okay, that's one more variant. Yeah, except I'm not touching my browser right now because I'm in a console and on a different application. Okay. This batch is now working. Let's bring in another 100. Okay. Here we go. And then one day I can actually generate a normalized rule text. That'll be so nice. Oop, no. God. So. Standard XV pairs. I mean, to be honest, if I see this, I should probably not have to parse the rest. So that's potentially a simplification I could do. And then hopefully in the future I can also have like a generic negative constraint detection. So cells separated. Boom. Digits connected by down, 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 down. And X not all. Yeah, you see, more than half the text is given to this very simple rule, which is really just a regular killer cage rule. That's all it is. It's a different visual for a killer cage. So it's a little bit. An X separates digits, separates digits, separates digits. And mutual exclusive. Yeah, now this is a bit worrying. Mutually exclusive XV cages. If a combination that sums to 5 or 10 appears in a cage, the same combination cannot appear in the XV clue. Alright, that actually I don't mind. As long as there's no XV breaking rule. Like if it's more constrained than the standard rule, I don't mind it. If it's less constrained, then we have a problem. That's what we have to detect. Alright. Cells that share an edge. That share an edge. Separated by share an edge with. Cells that share an edge with. Separated by that share an edge with. Separated by. Can this be in here? Connected joined. That share an edge width. Right? That sounds reasonable? Question mark? Do that? Okay. Cells separated by an X right here. Digits may not repeat. So this one, I think that's the only XV constrained text. Now this sounds like the sort of thing that should already be covered by something else. So I'm probably going to start sorting these a little bit. So then I'll find some of these that are really similar to each other, like especially the generic ones and the short ones. Like let's bring these to the top. And then things like standard XV pairs. Like we have standard V, normal XV rules apply, standard rules apply for each variant. So anything with standard is going to get interesting. Normal, standard XV, normal XV apply, XV pair, X pairs. So these bits at the front, those become one separate R a regular expression, RE, right? Oh, there was a full stop somewhere. Full stops need to be escaped, otherwise they're just wildcards. I mean, they'll still work, but not with intent. So const RE standard XV. So let's see how that looks like. So let's do this one. So we have the word standard. Then we have X or XV, right? That covers this. And we have standard or normal. That covers these two. Pairs is just optional. So this would cover V, X, XV pairs. That would cover this. Would cover this, standard, normal. So this is actually optional as well. And I have this one, right? So if I do this, I should be able to replace... first of all, before I do this, make sure, yeah, I have passes here. Then if I do this, we shouldn't get any additional fails, yes. Normal, standard, and then rules apply as an optional. Rules apply. And then standard XV pairs, X pairs. Right? XV and XV dash. Cool. All right. Okay. Standard rules is super generic, so I'm gonna put that at the top. Are these cells separated by? I think I'm gonna add that potential full stop here as an optional. Separated. The full stop was in front of the by, right? Separated full stop space by. Separated full stop space by. Full stop space optional by. Actually, this should be enough. This should still... Oh, no, I broke one. Cells separated full stop by. Cells separated... I guess there's a separated full stop by sum to 10. Cells separated by this should work for this. Separated. Separ or rated. Different spellings, yay! Oh god, I gotta... 1 second. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Wait, can I zoom in? I'll zoom in. Can I not zoom in? But I could zoom in with these silly things. You see that? That's what's making that noise. Let me see. I should be able to do this. That's Toby. He is apparently super relaxed like that. I won't lie. I think I'd rather cuddle him right now than do a stream. Alright. Can I get out of here? Get out of here. Get out of here. Oh, that's just awesome. That is just awesome. Alright. We got more rules parsed. 500. Okay, so yeah, that was a bit ambitious. 300. Okay. All cages have the same sum. Cells number X and C. Cells number necessarily given. Okay. Again, this is starting to sound more similar to things I've already had. So let's hope we can slowly move towards more generic rules. By X sum to 10 cells. And by V sum to 5. Not all X's and V's are necessarily given. Starting to think like the sum to. So RE XV sum 2. So what if we do something that captures all of these different things here? So it's A or N, and then it's X or a V, and then sum 2, and then it's 5 or 10 or 15. So this could be VX XV, sum 2, 5, and 15. So if I replace, let's first of all, let's go down to 250 here. See if we can reduce the number of fails here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fails. So if I do this and this and this, all right, let's clean up the fails first, and then we can maybe push that a bit further. Given, again, this sounds like something we've had. XV pairs, right? So this is similar to our RE standard. Right, and then cells, RE cells separated by an X sum to 10. Cells separated by V sum to 5. Not all X's and V's are necessarily given. Yep. Okay. An X indicates the digit must sum to 10. Well, that's relatively unique. Maybe we can group it with this one. And X separates, indicates separates, separates. Separates, indicates. Yeah. Okay. Digits separated by a V. No tens here. Okay. Digits separated by a V. Your kids used to lie on their bellies and sleep and then bark in their dreams. If your children are barking in their dreams, you might want to have that checked out. The X and V's sometimes are surrounded by single or double quotes. So we might just consume any single or double quotes before and after the X and V. And then have an optional must here. Like that. So high five by Peppy. High five sorted. Then I should be able to just put that in here. And that should still parse that. Oh, it's parsing. Oh, look at that. You saw that? That added those 3 to the list. Sweet. Must sum 2. Must sum 2. Must sum to add up to 10. We separate the... Okay. An x must sum to 10. An x must sum to 10. Oops. So that piece can get replaced by this and by this. A v sum to 5. A v sum to 5. Okay. A v sum to 5. A v or an x. An x sum to 10. Add up to 5. Okay, so we also have this variant here. So probably want to break this down, right? REXV. RVXV. REXV is basically this. And then RE510 is basically this. Right. And then we can inject this in here. And then this goes in here. But now we're gonna cater for the ors, right? So REXV could be followed by or these multiple times. And I guess you could do the same thing here. Followed by 5, 10, 15. Like this should still work for the other ones. And now this should also work for a, v, or x sum to 5 or 10. Yep. A v sum to 5. V must sum to 5. Must contain digits. Must contain digits that sum. Must contain digits that. Must contain digits that. That's like so superfluous. V or X must contain digits that sum to 5 or 10. And I think the respectively is also a kind of a given. Respectively. Boom. In fact, there's a new... we're getting failing cases again. This is just connected XV. What are... Yeah, okay. Let's see how this one fails. The digits in adjacent cells connected by an X. The digits. So this one is digits in adjacent cells connected by X must sum to 10. connected by an X must contain summing to 10. I have to figure out where I broke that. I shouldn't have proceeded so quickly. It's gonna be a bit of a pain in the butt. The digits in adjacent cells. The digits in adjacent cells. So XV, so that it's got one of those RE standard XV, we don't know which ones. The digits in adjacent cells, separated in adjacent cells, connected by, not all XVs are shown. Probably that is the final phrase is probably our indicator, not our, here we go. So, the digits in adjacent cells connected by X must sum to X. I'm wondering if it's because we have two of these. Wait, not all XV are shown. Let's see. Is that only this one? So if I remove this one, will that add any additional failing cases? No. The digits. All right, well, let's see. So what could this be? We have a standard XV colon or the XV colon. Then we have the digits separated by sum 2. We have this twice, right? And then we have finally this at the end. Does that bring arrow wheels back under the umbrella? No, it does not. We want to output this bit here. One sec. I'm just gonna see if I can think it out. The digits in adjacent cells, so RE cells, the digits in adjacent cells, okay, that works. Connected by, separated, connected, joined by, okay. By, connected by, and then sum to, must sum to, by X, by an, wait, if, this needs to be optional because we have that space. And then must, condition sum to, yeah. And then we definitely need to deal with one with, yeah, in fact, let's sort it out. Okay. So that sorts out this guy. Ugh, it's getting a bit tedious now. And this guy. So this one is also one that used to work and that I broke. Cells that share an edge. So we have yada 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 colon. Cells that share an edge with an share an edge with. Share an edge. Didn't I include that in here? Share an edge. That share an edge. That share an edge with a V or V or. So behind the O, behind the or, you can have an optional or an. And yeah, the quotes here are all wrong. So REX list. So this would be the REX, and then the REX list would be not this, would be simply on REX V or an rxv, and the quotes are handled already. And then we'll do this the same thing with the 510 list. So 510, then this becomes re510 or an re510. And then rexv list goes here and re510 list goes here. And that should sort out these other guys. Ooh, x is not defined. Rexv or an rexv. Where did I, whoop, rexv list. There we go. All right. Belgium must contain digits sum to 5 or 10 respectively. Okay, we're getting closer. So, is this the one I just looked at? Yes. Okay, so we haven't fixed this one yet. But we haven't broken anything new. That's a success in my book. So, cells that share an edge with a v or an x. So does rexv list handle this? No, because I don't have the leading an anymore. In fact, the leading optional an might as well go in here, and then I don't have to deal with them over here. Right? Right. Don't need to put that in there. Don't need this. And then this or an and business is all sorted. So a v or an x. So this should handle this. I should really run this through a regex tool. And then re510. Okay. So that that sum to 5 and 10 to, oh, or, well, and uses and instead of or. Isn't English language beautiful? Hey, that sorts it out. It's the use of and over here. Great. Next one. But we're getting less and less new cases, I think. Neighboring digits. Another way of saying the same thing. Great. Neighboring digits marked with v sum to 5. So I think the word neighboring can just go into a prefix throwaway thing here. The two identical digits, the two identical whatever, neighboring. So that's just RE cells, neighboring digits, marked with v sum to 5. If I just v sum to 5, so I think that can substitute in here, and then we replace neighboring digits again with this and this. Oh, there are 4 extra regions. Digits are neighboring digits marked. So neighboring RE cells, neighboring digits marked with neighboring digits should get handled by our little cells thing here. Neighboring digits. Yeah, that should work. Marked with, and then what do we hit? V sum to 5. V sum to 5. That should work. Neighboring digits marked with X sum to 10. With X sum to 10, all X values are given. I don't immediately see where this is going wrong. I am seeing these double spaces, so maybe there's a double space sneaking through somewhere. So I'm currently outputting the rules or the normalized rules on error. Normalized rules. So somehow there's something in here which survives the normalization process. That's not good. How is that surviving the normalization process? So, oh, because I'm not actually normalizing rules which don't have a line break in them. So we basically want to normalize any full stop followed by white space with a full stop followed by a singular space, like that. And that makes it pass. Excellent. Time to add a bunch more. Go up to 300. When you get 3 more failures. Hurrah! All right, let's go, 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 go. This does not feel like an efficient way of doing it, but maybe it's the best way of doing it after all. Who knows? Come to 10 or 5. Vision on the thermal, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Boom. Comma. Cells separated by an X sum to 10. Cells separated by a V sum to 5. Boom, 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 boom. Cells not separated by X must not sum to 5 or 10. So that's the negative constraint. The positive negative constraint, which we don't really care about. I think I just, instead of doing this, I'm just going to do this. And that should handle all the multi-space things. So, cell separate X. In the final grid, I have a feeling this is like, in the final grid, all odd numbers from an orthogonal region cannot form a 2x2 array. No supply cell separate X 5. It's not separate X and V. Not sum for 5 or 10. I'm not entirely certain. Wait, what's this? That doesn't seem like it should have been there. Right? Yeah. Cells separated by an X. Must not sum to the or. Right, I'm now outputting the rules twice again. Add to cells separated by sum to 10, cells separated to 5, cells not separated. Isn't this okay? This is the one we just did, which means our rule doesn't work yet. Cells separated by an X add to 10. Cells not separated. Cells separated by an X add to 10. Unless it hits something earlier on, which then breaks on this. So first of all, the whole cell separated by sum to, and then twice with full stops. This is a very common phrase. So I'm guessing we can just make this a singular thing, right? REXV phrase. And that's this followed by basically I want any number of these followed by a comma or a full stop or whatever. Or we'll just do this And then we'll just do something like this. Optionally followed by comma, full stop, space, rephrase, and any number of those. And then ultimately followed by this and any number of spaces. Okay, so right now we have 3 bad ones. So now if I can take this and just replace it with this, like that, and not get any additional negatives, right? So anything like this, I should be able to take out, including the full stop. And it should not give us any additional fails. And then I can just do this again. Right? And I can do it on this one. And let's include semicolons here as well. Like that. Any additional fails? No. So we have this. We have this. Now this might fail because we're expecting our end of... nope, doesn't. Okay. RE cells separated by, RE cells separated by, RE cells separated by, RE cells separated by, RE cells separated by. Now, if we're using RE phrases, we don't actually care. We don't have to put in a second one ourselves. Okay. RE cells separated by. Yeah, so we don't need a second one here. Oh, we broke one. Go back. Split up rainbow is broken. So we shouldn't need a second one because it can handle multiple. Okay. So we shouldn't need a second one here. Okay, that's nothing additional broken. So which one did I break there? These should also be able to be replaced. Yes. These should be replaced. Yes, and then these should be unnecessary. Okay. All right. RE cells separated by. Should be able to replace these. And then we should be able to take these out. Okay. Should be able to replace these. And now you see. Oh, nope. Wait. When did that break? How is this not just this? RE cells separated. That's really just this thing. That's a little weird. If I replace this. Okay, I think it might be related to our end of rule end marker because this consumes that. Except this works. Let me think. Wait a second. We have any number of these optionally. And then we have this optionally. So if I do phrase this, it breaks. Now if I put a question mark here. Wait, if I do this. And do that. Double question mark, right? Then it won't necessarily consume it, but it might consume it. Then we can remove that altogether because it now matches a rule we have had earlier. Now the only issue is that it might become less strict, right? The v sum to 5. I think that is now equivalent to this one as well. No. The 2 digits connected by the v sum to 5. The 2 digits connected by the v sum to 5. The v an. So this could be an or the. Oh god, this feels weird. So we should be able to just do something like party on the, like that. Yep, I think that does it. Whoa. Okay. So it's starting to come together a little bit here. So for example, if we get this up here and we make this optional, then we can get rid of that one. Right. This, I believe, is also equivalent to this. Does this? No, it's not. Must contain digits that summing must contain digits summing must contain digits that is optional. Yes, and now get rid of that. And then all of this is really just this. So we can do this and this. Right? Yes. Ooh, okay. This is a weird one. Let's pull this one out. Or all these standard ones, let's group them together. Okay. So no negative. So const re xv no neg. So let's just, not all x's, not all of these are given. So it could be, you know, it could be a whole bunch of stuff. And then we can put that in here. Right. And we could put that in there. And we probably have these braces as optional. The brackets, the braces as optional surrounding that. No negative constraint. Oop. No negative constraint. No, not all XV are shown. So that there's going to be so many different ways of saying that. So put that in here. And here. Any additional fail cases? Nope. Not all possible X's are given. All. And this is an interesting way of spelling possible. X BX are given. All. Not all possibles. All possibles. Possible. Let me make sure I didn't break anything yet. Nope. So now I should be able to replace this as well. And you might notice these three are the same now. Get rid of them. So not all. No negative constraint. No negative constraint. So that's also no negative constraint here. Okay. Then if we make this optional, like this, that should also take care of this guy. So that means we can get rid of this one. Right? And we can get rid of this guy. Okay. No negative constraint. Negative constraints do not apply. Let's move the more specific ones to the front. Are given, are shown, not all XVs if I do this, is that gonna still work? And then we don't need this anymore, I think. Let's double check. Nope, we broke one. Rule applies. No negative constraint. No negative constraint. No negative constraint. With brackets either way. Normal XV rules apply. Normal XV rules apply. No negative constraint. Normal XV rules apply. XV. Normal XV. X / V. So I just spotted one alien case up here. And normal XV rules apply, no negative constraint. No negative constraint. Now this is obviously, no negative constraint. Not all possibilities are given, shown, no negative constraint. So this should be RE standard XV. No negative constraint. RE standard XV. RE standard normal XV rules apply. So RE standard XV, no negative constraint. Basically this combination. Yeah, okay. So I thought I probably, okay. All possible. This is negative constraint. No, it's gonna be a different thing. All right. Digits separated. Separated and X sum to 10. So this is this thing here. I think we can do this. Yep. And then, okay. They sum to 5. They sum to 5. I don't think that fits into our patterns here. Not all X's or V's are necessarily given R. Necessarily given. No, not all X's or V's. X's or V's. This could also have a trailing S, where that's actually optional. All X's or V's. REXV list. Not all XV list. All possible. Okay. So now, not all. Can we get rid of this altogether? Is this covered by basically this one? I think that should be covered by this rule now. Yep. Okay, let's add these other three. Cells that run X add to 10, cells not that run XV must not sum. So that's in the future negative constraint stuff. For now, I'm just gonna stuff that in here. Okay. RE cells separated by yada yada yada. Sum to 10. Cells separated by V, sum to V. That should cover this guy. I probably remove full step back. Nope. So let's get rid of this one. Do this, and see if this captures the Shat-Chan algorithm. It does. So that should work. Yep. RE separated. That should work for these places. Yep. Then this should work an x add to 10. No. An x summed or summing could also be adding or add. Add. Wow, this is the first time I've encountered add for that phrase. That seems so odd. Okay. So this should now just be REXV phrases. Boom. Okay. Next one. 4 of the modifiers, modify effects, 4 of the modifiers. One modifier is broken, leaves the digit in its cell unchanged. Wait, what? One cell in each row column box contains a modifier. Each of the digits 1 through. Normal Sudoku rules apply. So this one is... So this is basically just, you know, normal Sudoku. Can I just Google this? Here we go. Can I just do this? Don't have to mess around. I think this is 4 of the modifiers. 4 of the modifiers broken, leaves the digit that's still unchanged. 4 of the modifiers double. Sites, normal Sudoku, no affects the value itself for a purpose. So this is basically just literally missing the rule text. So I don't know yet exactly how I'm gonna handle that. Because there's basically a discrepancy between what the code says, and the code should override that, obviously. But we cannot, this rule text does not tell us what we think we want to know. And this is the same puzzle again, somehow. Okay. All right. Let's add another 100. Here we go. Modify mystery. Now those we'll have to work hard to ignore. Digits. Okay. Adjacent cells marked with an X or V must contain some X or V. Not all X's are given. Boom. Okay. That sounds like something we should be already covering. Why aren't we? Adjacent cells marked with an X or Y. Adjacent cells. So neighboring digits. Really? No. What? Identical? Okay. What we really want to do is identical, neighboring, and adjacent. Right? Identical, neighboring, or adjacent. Digits, cells. Okay. Adjacent cells. So first of all, does this handle this dotted eighth? Yes, it does. So now let's destructure it. Destructure it. Okay. Now the marked with an X or V is something we need to add to here. RE sum 2. So separated by marked with. That's a new one, I guess. Connected, joined, the chair and edge. Marked. What was it? Marked with or marked by? Marked. Marked with by. So that's the RE separated here in action. Marked with. An X or V must contain digits summing to 10 or 5. That's just respectively. There's that respectively. Let's see. Sum 2 must contain digits that an X or V must contain digits summing to respectively. And that should have a optional comma here. So then I should be able to just do this. An X or V must summing to 5 or 10 respectively. And that should still pass. Yes. And then this is just an RE phrases instance again. Bada bing. And then not all possible. Not all XVs are necessarily shown given. So REX no neg. So that should actually work like this. And it should actually be already covered up there, so we can just remove it. The rule has disappeared. Sweet. All right, let's add another 100. Mystery box. Oh, who mentioned German earlier? I blame you. I wonder if I should do just a language detection right now. Because potentially all of the same stuff, like... Yeah. So I'm tempted. If I have something that tells me German or not, then I can just exclude it. But I don't think these would be marked in any way. If I search Mystery Box by Nahelian. I wonder if there's something in the puzzle that tells me that it's in German and or in English. Why are these in English? Maybe they're both in the database. There's a German version and they're both here shown as German. Let me see. It could be that they're translating it here, but the data I downloaded wasn't translated, right? There's mystery box here. And it just said, this is all in English. Then why the hell did I get the German version? It translates them. Oh no, I was downloading the German version. When I was pulling the files from their site, I must have been pulling them while with the German language setting. So let's have a look at AOO, whatever this is. So AOO, AOQ, AOQ. No, A0Q. Zero 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 A0Q. Wait, I can just search for this, right? Here we go. So I'm guessing when I downloaded this, this is all in German. All right, so that's one for the to-do list. I should re-download them because if they have, I don't know how they do it. I don't know if it's automatically translated or if the setter actually has two versions when they're uploading it, because these are obviously two different links, right? So the CTC app link for the English and the German version are obviously two different data sets. So it could be auto-translated, or it could be that when uploading, they actually provide a German and an English version of the data. All right, so I'm gonna try to ignore these at the moment. I might want to filter them, but that might be a bit difficult. I'd have to do that after the parsing. So basically here, or I can just do load puzzle list, slice 0 count. If I do filter, but yeah, here it's not been parsed yet. So the filtering would have to happen here. And this goes through like a couple hundred or whatever, right? So I probably need to do if IDX is smaller than 3. I just need to know what the data looks like, you know, before I proceed here. So it's this whole thing, right? So I should be able to do a filter p, and then p.title dot not. This area includes the title. So then I can just hard code a couple of puzzle titles in here that I want to remove to make my testing a little bit easier. And I remove the mystery box as well. And then I can update the data later on. Oh. Is this a different format? Ooh. Undefined. Wait a second. Oh, okay. This is after the final transformation, so I actually have to exclude this string. Fair enough. Good enough for this purpose. And mystery box. It's actually more specific, so it's actually kind of better. All right. Actually, since I'm single quoting here, I don't need to escape the double quotes. And I'm going to do this because there's going to be more of these. All right. Dot includes p dot title. Did I? My God, come on. How many times have I written this particular code yet? How many times have I written that? Does it contain both double quotes? Oh, it's not. Oh my God. It's this, right? fpuzzle to test data. fpuzzle to test data returns. Oh my God, it's ID. p.id. I delete it again, and I'm probably gonna have to write it again. No, I don't. Yay. All right. Sweet. Progress. Not just walking backwards. Numbers with an X between dot, plug dot, numbers with a dot between. Not all possible. It's a bit out there. I'm just gonna ignore that one. Numbers with an X between them sum to 10. So RE cells, digit cells, numbers. Let's just change the order of these. So RE cells with an X between them sum to, with a V between them sum to. Okay, so we can obviously replace that with this. And that with this. And then we can probably remove the other one. That. And then between them, yeah, it's a different format that this can't capture. We're probably okay. All right. Pairs of cells connected with an X or V and belong to two separate polynomials. Not every X or V is given. Now, this sort of and I don't care, because all I care is that that some exist that do that, right? And then I can trust the markings. Although it might still have the problem that after the cosmetification of the fpuzzles data, I might still end up with some wrong data in terms of checking. But we're looking for a hint system that improves the situation, and maybe it can get improved to a point where it's good enough. All right, so this would be the odd pentominoes one. Odd pentominoes. Need to remove that and that. And to be honest, we don't want to and belong. Pairs of cells. Pairs of cells. Is that already covered? Pairs of cells. Neighboring adjacent. Pairs of. And then pairs of cells RE separated by sum to 5 or 10. RE and X or V sum to 5 or 10 respectively. Right? And belong to two separate pentominoes. Not every X and V is given. Not all. Not all. Not every. R or is necessarily given, shown, yada yada yada. So that should fit this now. Right, we should still be at 3. Yep. And belong to two separate territories. I'm not entirely certain how I'm going to handle that, to be honest. It's a bit of a nasty one. Not 100%. All right, let's move on before I try to solve it. Digits shown by an X or V. Some digits. All right, that's, I think, standalone clear enough. Digits joined. Another word. By an X or V sum to 10, and by 5 to... Oh god, okay. I see why that's not already handled. Digits separated by... first of all, RE phrases, RE cells... Oh, didn't need that. Okay. Separated an X sum to 10 and a V between cells means they sum to, oh my god, means they, jeez. Sum to 5. Man, I can't wait to have something in the editor where it just says, hey, do you mean to write an XV rule? How about this little simple phrase that's standardized and everybody understands? All right, an X or V sum to 10 and by sum to V. So the whole, because I've done the and in between the X's and V's and the 5s and 10, but not between terms like that. Let me see. But it does kind of make sense that it should cover that case. Must contain digits, adding. Jesus. Actually sum to 10. So I think this already covers that. An X and V sum to 10. And then a V sum to Y. RE. So now we're gonna have RE sum to list. And it'll be basically this. And by. And then this will be optional. One or more. And then this will be optional. And then this probably will have an or as well. And then this is going to replace inside here. And this can be there. Right? And then this whole thing just disappears because now it's equivalent to our the XV phrases. Okay, next one. Cells containing night movements. Just must be different. X separated digit by 10, B separated. Not every X and V is given. Okay. Whoop. X separates digits that sum to 10. V separates digits that sum to... Okay. Well... And then separates digits. Separates digits that must contain digits. Must contain... Instead of contain... Separates or separates digits that sum to RxV. So if I just do this, does that already? Wait, let's step. Oh no. So let's go back to here. First of all, make sure that the base version actually works. Yeah, so that works. Now, does that work like that? No. Let's go back. X separates digits. Sum to list. Alright, sum to XV list contains separates digits that sum to 10. So this should work. Vox Nahali. Wait, X? Ah, okay. No, okay, so that's good. Okay. V separates digits that sum to 5. Okay. And then if I do a sum to list, RE sum to list. Ah, no, that doesn't work. But or separate by phrases, probably yeah. So it could be either all of that or, and then we'll put the space in front of well, it could either be all of that or it could be one of these guys, right? And that shouldn't break everything. And now, RV sum to list. Ah, wait. Shoot. No, this is already not working right now. Wait a second. Need to go back. How it worked. But this was working, right? No. Ah, I'm an idiot. I keep thinking all of them should be done, but this one isn't done yet. Okay. So I should be able to just do this now. And sum to list, we should do this afterwards. And then I should be able to get rid of these. Okay. And then this, not every X and V is, not every XV list R is necessarily given. So that should be RE whatever. In fact, now we shouldn't need that anymore. Yes, we do need it. Yes, we don't have this combination yet because this RxV sum list thing is new. So we're gonna bubble these minimal versions up, right? RxV phrases, RxV list, RxV neg, standard XV, Rx sum list. phrases. So we have these kind of variants phrases respectively. Can we just RXV phrases? Can we just have this respectively in there? Kind of like here. And then we don't need this anymore, maybe? Oh, no, we cannot. We cannot. Wow, really? RXV phrases. Well, can we just have that? Yes. Okay, so that's the most simple version. There is no negative constraint. So there is no negative constraint. There is no negative constraint. Negative, there is. Negative constraints do not apply. No negative constraints. No. Negative constraints do not apply. Okay, did it break anything? Totally. Broke everything. There is no negative constraints. Negative constraints do not apply. Okay. And then no negative. All possible XMV solutions. Negative constraints do not apply. So we should be able to just do this. Right? Problem is, if I break something now, it's going to be so hard to figure out what I broke. RE phrases, no neg. Standard phrases, yada yada yada. Okay. There is no negative constraint. I think that should also be covered now. Yep. Here we go. So that's positive constraint. Not all are necessarily given. So that's no negative constraints. Not all are necessarily given. Given shown. So this one should also be included in this one here. Yeah, that's unnecessary now. Let's do this final one. Adjacent digits 5 connection. Okay. Adjacent digits that sum to 5. Really? You're gonna do me that way? You're gonna write out the numbers now? Adjacent digits. Adjacent digits. Adjacent digits that sum to 5 are always connected by a V. By an X, no final thingamagic. Yeah. Now, can I bring in 5 and 10 here and 15 and then replace that with that sum 2 are always connected by a V. That sum 2 effectively always connected by a V. That sum to 5 are always connected. Okay, sum 2 and then the V is this one, right? By a V. By an X. Yep. And then always connected becomes separated. R. By. I wonder if always could just live in there and be swallowed by that rule. Ugh, okay, that didn't work. Nope. 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 Okay, so a V cannot be replaced by this. Pretty sure it should be. Or did I try to replace it with the 510 list? I think so. I was probably using the 510 list one. Okay. All right. Then separate it. Connected by. There's so many cases of like 2 lists, and I really don't want to detect 5 and 10, the V and the X cages separately. So I think always we can just roll into that. Always. Like, there are all these little connecting words which don't actually mean anything. Like, you might say, oh, it makes the rule more precise, but since from the rule text you don't know when these sort of things apply, you know, it's a little moot. Are separated by... That's sum to... So this kind of inverts the grammar. So it almost makes sense to have that inverted grammar here. Must contain digits that sum add. So we have the opposite here. We have sum to are separate digits that sum to are separated by. And here's like must contain digits that sum. I mean, let's have a look at this quickly. So if I take this whole thing, right? So if I do, let's say, am I using this down here? So this shouldn't really be ever used directly, right? That should always be sum to list, like that, right? So that should still be identical. Oh, it fails up here. How does this fail suddenly? Standard XV pairs an X between cells means that sum to 10, and a V between cells means that they sum to Y. An X between cells means they sum to 10, and a V and up. What? When did I? Okay. Okay, that was. I just misclicked there, I think, right? Everything is still fine. Yes, everything is still fine. So now the question is, can we add the alternate grammar version there? Regex for XV cover all the XV cases, or is that not what you want? This is the regex I'm building. The XV regex is up here. REXV. It's just that you can say, you know, things connected by X sum to 10, or the sum things sum to 10 that are connected by X, right? So the inverted grammar. So now I'm saying, okay, if I invert that grammar, then I can substitute that in all sorts of places, and then my list superset works as well, right? And then I can potentially save on a lot of variants and such. So for example, XV sum 2. So, you know, RE cells that sum to, so we kind of, if I do this and then do this, and no, I'm not going to do that because that's going to be horrible. So I'm going to do sum to A, and then I'm going to sum to B, and then we're going to have a sum to that's actually going to be simply this with sum to A or sum to B as a choice, and then this A is the existing one, and then the B will be the new one with the inverted grammar. Right. So it's basically this-ish. Something like this, right? This still works. By the way, Mark was just popping in from Twitter for people who didn't see that. Oh, that's supposed to be a B. And that passes. So then the question becomes this. Can that substitute for all of this? I think it should. And in fact, it should be able to substitute for both. No, it does not. So technically this thing here should just be sum to B, right? And this should also be sum to b. Okay, and sum 2 can be just sum to b. So these should also work with sum 2. Okay, so this should be a sum to list. Okay, it's not a phrase because, yeah, different grammar rules and whatnot. And what did I just do? I just typed an extra character here. Okay, don't panic. It's all under control. All right, so that works, and I don't know if I need that. Yeah, so because we don't have a negative phrase bit. Now, this is kind of one of those weird things where if this exists or not, this will always work. So it's not reliable on the negative rules. Oh, you were saying something on YouTube? Oh, yeah, because of the weird log in, log out before. I think my chat is completely disconnected. 1 second, let me see. If I refresh everything, will I get chat again? Yeah, let me see. Let's see if my chat works. And I think it's working again. Of course, I don't have a chat history now, so great. All right, I think we can add a couple more. I mean, I'm starting to worry that XV is actually seems to be more complex than the others. Like, the regular expression so far is much messier than the others were. Because I guess because there's like the X and the V, and then people writing it one in front of the other, and then together and separately. So it's like there's so many different ways, you know. Each X joins a pair of digits with sum to all possible X's. So this one, for example, is also that's a new structure. Each thingamajig joins a pair. Each X joins a pair of digits. So each X we've not had before. So each and the each. I think we can just do that. So then we can just do this. Wait, first let's make sure this one works. Yeah. Joins a pair. Does that work with our new that sum 2? Cells that sum 2. Joins a pair which sum to 10. Must contain separates digits. Contain separates joins digits. Joins digits. A pair of digits that sum to each X joins a pair of digits that sum to 10. So does this each X joins a pair that sum to 10? Does this work? Ugh, no. All possible X's that yeah, so this again, this is a negative constraint that I can't use. Each X joins a pair of digits which sum to 10. Each. So this should be each X joins a pair of digits that which sum to whatever. So actually that should now already be covered. Hey Mark, yeah, I think the chat is up and running again. Thanks for stopping by Twitch to let me know. And that works. Sweet. Okay. That was actually not too bad for adding 100 more puzzle. Let's add 200. Let's go crazy. 200 more puzzles. And yeah, we have a couple of new ones. We're still not quite there yet where we've covered like most of the cases. Cells separated by a V sum to 5. Cells separated by, wait, xv must sum to cells separated by a v sum to 5. Okay, so this is hot whispers, right? So hot whispers cells separated by a v sum to 5. Hot whispers should be covered by this now, right? No. Cells separated by a v sum to 5. To 5. By a v sum to 5. Cells separated by a v sum to 5. I don't think I need to escape anything here. That's weird. This looks like it should match this. Digits along a positive diagonal may not repeat. So there's nothing else that could interfere, right? Sum to 5. Oh, wait. This is a negative fail, I think. I think this means that it detects this, but the rules aren't giving it. Now that could simply mean that where's the frickin' search? Where can I search? Search. No. Search. How is a puzzle name search advanced? Alright, here we go. Hot whispers. So let's look at CTC data. And so this has a Sudoku X, but it doesn't seem to have the X. It does have XVs. But cosmetics only? Maybe? Alright, let's have a look at the fpuzzle data. So, setting, Control J, rule set. So it doesn't say anything about XPs here. Ratio text. Okay, so this one is... Wait a second. Why... so this one is one where it doesn't have the data set. But why? This looks like it's a standard... it looks like it's a standard... What's the word? Standard XV rule set, right? I'm not seeing anything special about this. Let's see. No one's triggers are right. There's along the blue lines must be at least differ by. Oh. Sorry, I'm just trying to arrange this. Digit along the thumb line must increase from the bottom digits. Along the positive direction may not repeat. Cells separated by a V sum to 5. Okay, so this looks like it should be a standard V puzzle, but for some reason they just used a cosmetic V. Maybe they didn't like how fpuzzles usually handles these visually. So let's see. If I say constraint tools xv I do this and then put a V. So that's the same thing. It's just they chose. So this is what I've just done, and they've done this. I wonder why. All right. This is a little bit of a problem because this is supposed to be my verification data, but here basically my data is bad, right? So I can't really use it. So I guess this just needs to be excluded from the test set then. Basically, right? I mean, and we're handling it correctly. So actually, I don't even need to do this because then it probably is handling it correctly because it says, yes, this is a XV puzzle. So then I can just add this to our exclusion list here. Oh, no. And then I think that will just be excluded and we'll be fine. Just pretend this never happened. Okay, so this is kind of going up to the 15 thing, which I've tried to support, but I don't know if I've been consistent with that. Yeah, so first of all, we have this. So there's this, and now there's an X, XV, XV. This doesn't make any sense at all. Oh, 10, 5, and 15. I don't like that it's XV rather than VX. There's something in my head that just wants it to be like that. And the 5 or 15. Now, the problem with the 5 or 15 is binary sum to 5 or 7 or x sum to 10 or 15. Yeah, so this is actually a not, this is not good. Standard, wait a second, standard, XV, normal, XV, XV, XV. Because obviously, if it doesn't sum to 10, or if we don't know which it sums to, then we can't just pick one, right? So I'm wondering how this is actually described in the data. Oh my god, that the search doesn't actually have a search is driving me crazy. How is this site so popular? So here the X's are obviously cosmetic. But why would it think that it has that data? So if I look at this one, yeah, so these are all cosmetic. So that should be okay if it doesn't. Oh, is it because it's actually detecting it as a thing? Because I'm allowing the 5 or 15. Yeah, so maybe this is one of those things like 5 or if it says X or V sum to 5 or 10 respectively, then it's good. But if it says V sum to 5 or 15, then that's not good. So I might have to actually either insist on the respectively or have a separate one where there's more than one, like where there's a singular V, XV, whatever, and a multiplicity of values. So this is actually bad. So I cannot potentially use OR here. Which of course breaks a bunch of stuff we've already solved previously. Yeah. So if we go back to something like this, joined by V or X, sum to 5 or 10. See, this is okay. If I do this, or, and then just do or here, and I do XV or here, make this or, and then instead of list, I just and sum to, and we get rid of the lists for a sec here. All right. How did I break it now? XV. XV. Shouldn't have done that. Gonna bite me in the butt. So much butt biting. By X or V sum to 5 or 10. So we want a version, see here, where these are connected by OR, and it's more than one. And if we have an OR there, we also need an OR down here. And then we add that in here with the C variant. Like that. Does that resolve that first one? And can we slowly get... Yeah, I think that's resolving that one. So, what do we have? Mutual exclusive XVK of a combination that sums to 5 or 10 appears in the cage. The same combination cannot appear in the XV clue. Vice versa. 10 cage contain 1, 2 digits. Cannot stay. Common edge. Oh my god. Did this pass before? Cells that share an edge with a V or X must contain digits that sum to 5 or 10 respectively. Contain digits or a V or an X. My god. I think we're gonna change this, right? We're gonna do this list after all. Or and. But the difference is that the list is just more than one, forced. And the other one is optional. It's just one, right? So if we make these instead of or, we make these a list here. So this is the forced list, plural, right? And that actually resolves these again. And because it's forced plus, it should ensure that our case that we had here with the one X, with the one we having more than one value isn't misattributed, right? Now this one used to work. X or V sum to 10 or 5. X or V sum to 10 or 5. X or V sum to 10 or 5 respectively. So pairs of cells respectively. If I take this and I stick this in here right at the start, odd pentominoes, is that going to come back? I'm gonna check the chats because I don't trust them anymore. So I'm probably gonna call it a day soon. I'm tired. So this does not handle that. Pairs of cells connected by an X or V respectively. Oh, because we have this weird extra bit and we don't have an end of thing otherwise. And belong to two separate and belong to two separate dominoes. So can we put this in here as a optional guy? I guess we can. And then this just goes to the bottom as a weird thing. Wait. We had that already. Wait a second. Why is this not handling it? And belong to two separate pentominoes. Not every X and V is given. No, not every X and V. Okay, here we can go back to list. It's given. Here we want to do REXV or list. Like that. Like that. And then that should get handled by this guy. Now we gotta go back to this one. Happy 58th by Blobs. Blobs has been doing quite a few puzzles recently. Digits separate by a V sum to 5. Not all such V's are shown. So this also feels like one we had working already. Digits separated by V sum to 5. Digits separated by v. Not all such v's. Not all. Every possibles. Not all or every such are shown. X's such v's are shown. Okay, first of all, so happy 58th. Is this handled now by that phrase? Yes. Does this correspond to that? I think it does, maybe. Yes, it does. Digits separated by a v. Digits separated. So, sum to 5. So does that do this thing now? And does that mean I can just remove it? Yes. All right. This one, is this a new one? Or is that something I broke? 12 must determine which numbers are oil. Numbering oil throughout the whole puzzle. Numbers repeated in cage. I'm guessing this is another one of those bad test cases, basically. My god, it's almost it'll almost be faster if I just extract the data and get the ID and then from my tool here. Because their search is so terrible. Jeez. Alright. I actually want to open that in Fpuzzles so I can check. So this has X and V's. Okay, so this has X and V's, but it doesn't mention X and V's in the thing. Okay, so this is another bad test case. So we're gonna just exclude this one for now. Wow, I was hoping to finish it today. And in the past, I think I've generally finished one rule in a day. Well, I've only done 2 so far, so... And I guess the chess stuff I went back to a couple of times. So maybe I'm underestimating the complexity of the task sometimes. Just a little. It's a possibility. It's a possibility. It has happened before. Alright. Man, I'd like to get through at least like 5,000 of them. But it also shows, you know, my 34 test cases at prior are probably inadequate. All possible black does the givens. The X joins a pair of digits on all possible black. Yeah, stuff like that. How am I still not managing these? I have a feeling that some of my stuff here is a little bit not generic enough. All possible X's are given. So that's the positive case, right? The X joins are pair of digits. The X joins are pairs of digits which sum to 10. So that's just bad English, right? Which sum to 10? EX joins and the X. So REXV joins a pair of digits which sum to 10. Must sum to 10, which sum to 10? Pair of digits. I forgot to check which one this was. Pair of digits which join. The X joins a pair of digits which sum to 10. All possible X are given. RX no neg. RX neg. It's probably time to bring these in. All possible X's are given. All possible X's and V's are given. All possible. So it'll be this or that. All possible X's or V's are given. Yeah, I shouldn't be doing this right now, should I? Not when I have... Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just count them so I know I didn't, if I break something, basically. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I don't think I broke any extra ones. Cells connected by dot X or V must be in the same region. Oh, that's not it. Digits separated by V can't sum to 5. Can't? Wait, oh, everything Rogan. Okay. So this one also got on the exclusion list. Hey, babe. Bobby was sleeping on his back and sleep barking while I was streaming. That's so cute. No, I'm still streaming. I should finish soon, I guess. What time is it? Yeah. Let me see. I think I'll go up to 1,000. Where am I at? I'm actually... Yeah, this is probably a good time to call it. Theseus by Nordy. Separated by an x sum to 10. On the bottom is necessary given. Why is this rule written out twice? Oh, because that's what the thing... Ah, wait, what? That means we are detecting the rule correctly. Which implies that potentially... This is another bad one. So, let's see what it's supposed to be. Yeah, it doesn't have an XV in here. And is this supposed to be standard? Yeah, so this is an exclusion for our test scenario here. But obviously these are the kind of things we can potentially handle properly despite them not being marked up correctly. They're also in there twice. I need to go back and check about like the English or the language setting when I'm fetching them. Digits separated by black dot. Digits separated by V can sum to 5. Oh, it's a Rogan one. Ah, but this should come correctly, right? And by that, what I mean is, if it doesn't detect the rule, but the rule should also not be in the puzzle, right? Chaos construction Rogan. Chaos construction Rogan. Here we go. By Leroy. Let's look at the CTC just for a nice rendering of the rules text. So it has a V in here. Cells and cage may be part of the same region. But does that mean he actually used an XV here? He did. Ah, that's terrible. So he should have used, yeah. So he's setting it as a, okay, so this is just bad data. Okay. That is just bad data. Now, I'm starting to think if I should actually look for the word Rogan in titles and then just disable all rule parsing, because it's potentially a problem. Potentially. Mark, are you still there? I'm not seeing any messages, and I'm a bit worried. It's also x must sum to 10. For connect mode determined by the solver. Sort of given. I don't think it says anything about 5s. Okay. I think that's another fairly simple one that should just work. This should be further down. Cells separated by X. Okay, so let's first of all see that this passes now. No. Cells separated by X must sum to 10. Not all X's are necessary. Oh, because it's a false negative or whatever. I'm starting to think I need to build a more advanced user interface for loading up these puzzles to compare, like maybe a little UI that shows all the fails and then lets me pop open this, you know, give me all the information I need. So this indicates it has X's and V's, but I'm guessing once again they decided to use cosmetics. So it detects it, but it's basically just bad data. Now, ultimately, I still need to be able to handle them, so I can't just ignore these. but they need to be handled on a slightly different level. All right. Now, before I finish the stream, I need to actually make sure I didn't break any of the other stuff. Now, these, I'm guessing, I haven't updated them for these 1000 rules, so they probably need a bunch of tweaking to work for all of these as well. You just cannot repeat within a cage. Undefined. Also on the smoke on the top left corner. Yeah, so basically what I've just done with these thousands for the XV, I also need to do with killer cages. So killer cage will still be failing on a bunch of these. On the contrary, what if we also bring in the CTC? But the CTC ones aren't annotated yet. So it'll fail on those because it just doesn't know that these are XVs and stuff. Okay, so I can't actually confirm against those. So those I'd have to manually then verify. All right, I think, yeah, hey Mark, I think I'll call it a day on this. It's not fully done. Actually, one last thing. So this was the one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is the actual conflict checking itself. Because the conflict checking should already be able to handle this if there's a solution. And I don't know if this is actually as a solution. So let's just do something quickly here. I think this doesn't have the solution. Wait, that's the localhost version. So this will not, it will not show as solved. And let me just close this to make sure it's saved. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is find new link. Nope. Find solution with solution. Open fpuzzle with solution. Do I do this? Right? This should now have a solution in it. And if I push in the replay, whoop. Wait. If I switch this ID out, maybe that's what it needs. Right. Those random IDs, I'm not even certain. Okay. So, delete 9. Solve the puzzle. Okay, so if it has a solution, it works correctly, despite the X and V's and whatnot being broken. Now, if so this is a 15. So for example, if I restart and I put in a 9, well, let's see, 9 and 6, boom, 79 errors. So that has 2 fewer errors. So it will mark them as errors, but not as conflicts. And the final solution does work. So that is not what Realm Planner told me. So the information I have from him is not correct. The other thing let's go back to the previous. So this is the one without the solution, right? So this one doesn't look quite right. Now, if I disable conflict checking and now check, yeah. So he said he got the link, but how did he get it? So 1 second, let me have a look at a link that doesn't seem to work. Ah, but this is a different puzzle. Ideally, it'll be on one puzzle. Yeah, these are all different puzzles. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna send him this link. So let me just reformat that. I think that should work. And if I put the replay in there, was this correct? 9. Yeah. So that seems to work. All right. I think that's it. I thought there was that it wasn't doing this correctly, i.e. if there's a solution, it would still detect the conflict. But that doesn't seem to be the case. And in fact, doesn't even output a list of errors or anything like that. So that's it. I'm going to call it a day here. The rules checking here is not done yet. But to be fair, neither of the other rules check. So this is one of those things where it captures a bunch of puzzles, but not all of them. And, you know, as the coverage percentage goes up, the more useful it gets, right? And then it's reducing errors in other places. So the true fix is to include a solution, then it works fine. And then this would, in a case like this, work. And that's the other thing I need to try now, is then implementing that extra rule check to make sure a puzzle like this doesn't add XV markup unnecessarily. And then the real tricky bit is to make sure that it also works on non-annotated puzzles such as CTC data and all that sort of thing. Yeah, it's all a little bit messy. And I obviously have to be careful that I don't overfit my regex, because I could make it work on, 1,000 puzzles, but it, I could literally just put a list of all those rules in there and manually mark them all up. And right now I almost feel like I'm doing that, but I don't think quite so. I mean, I'm covering, 1,000 puzzles with, 20 lines of regexes or whatever. So it's not too bad. Like if I look at this is, I mean, it's quite a bit of code compared to the other ones, right? But it's reasonable-ish. It's quite a bit of code. If I could simplify this a bit more, that would be good. I don't know why this particular one is so much more complex. Like, this is all for killer cages. And then anti-king, anti-knight is actually even simpler. Well, I guess those are understandably, because they're actually simpler rules. I mean, I also have some duplication here that I can deduplicate. And then there's a bunch of grammatical groups that I can pull out and potentially generalize and all that stuff. Yeah. Like or and the that are like these kind of bits, shared fragments and all that. I'm wondering, like, this is the first time I'm actually doing it like this. There must be some kind of common, especially for these kind of fragments and combined regexes and subregexes and stuff. There must be some kind of grammar or something that people use. Like, this feels like I'm not treading new grounds. This feels like some very old-fashioned way of doing something. Or maybe it's just me doing something in a weird way. Anyway, let's see if there's a daily puzzle I can do as a palette cleanser. Why is there not a daily? Oh, I did it on my phone already. Let's pick one of these. No, I think they're too complex for me actually to do quickly. Let's grab one from my little pseudo generator thing here. No, let's do a X Sudoku. Let's do the X Sudoku. This one. Let's do that one. All right. Actually, one thing I'd like to add is to generate rule text for these. All right, this is going to be hopefully simple. 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 8, 5, 6, 7, 2, 2, 2, 2. Actually, no. Nope. Nope. 8, 9. Ah. Oops. That's a 9. That's a 2. And I just must have disabled the conflict checking. Yep. Ah, okay, so that switches on correctly. Just double checking. Okay, so that goes away. 5 goes here. That's a 2. Okay, that's all the twos done. 5. You know what? This diagonal looks like it might break down if I just do a bit of master marking. Master marking, that's what I call it. That's a great term. What the masters do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't let Simon tell you any other way. Real men pencil mark like that. Just ask Mark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. No 7s here. No 8 here. No 8 here. So there's there. 1 there. Okay. 3. On this diagonal, 3's here or here. And on this diagonal, here or here. So there's no 3 here. But that is as far as it goes, apparently. What are these 3? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No 1 here. That didn't help much. 5's here, here. And here. Okay, 6's. Oh, 6 is here. Is there any place it can go? 6's. No, not here. 6's. And 1's. 7's. 7's go here on the diagonal. Okay. And 8's. 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 Or 9's. 9's go here. Let's go here. And well, so I'll just mark them all. So 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That did not help at all. 1 goes here. Actually, I think we can mark these now. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 5. So 1 is here, 4 here, and 7 is here as well. 1 here or here, and then here. All right, 2's are done. In fact, the 2's are done. Why is this button not marked? Show mark solved digits. Ah, that feature is broken on this puzzle. Unless I'm 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Is it because solution isn't available? Maybe it's because solution isn't available. I could potentially include solutions with the... not really. There's also something Ranks reported recently. I should have looked into that as well. Let's see, what was that? Ranks. Ooh. From inbound new others requests. Ranks, I think my original spec was the marked self-digit. This one starts with 0. Oh, okay. So there was one where, because it's a 0 through 8 puzzle. So there's okay, yeah. Definitely to check that one out. Maybe next stream. Maybe I'll do an early stream tomorrow. I'd like to get started early in the day. Would be nice. 1, 4, 7. So that's 3 and 5. 1, 4, 7. 4. 6, 4. 4, 6, 4. 4, 4. 4. It takes care of 3, 5. That's a 4, 8 here. Oh. 4. And that's a 3. And that's an 8. Okay. So 3. We have a bunch of 3s now. And we had something with 8s here. Okay, 4. 7. 1, 7. Because we have 3, 5. 3, 5, and 5 on the diagonal. So those got sorted. 7 and here. 7 and here. 7 and here. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. That's 5. 5s. 5s again. There's 4 missing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. 9, 7. 4, 7, 8. So 8 and 9 are in these. Yeah, that's kind of a given. 3 and 6. Oh, that's a 1. Here we go. That's something. I think. 1s. 1, 7, 4, 1, and a 9. 9, 9, 4, 8, 9, 7. 7. And that's 3 and 6. 3, 6. And this is 5 and 8. Like that. And that'll be 3, 4, and 6. Okay. 8, 4. Oh, shoot. Did I screw up on the 8s? Nope. I don't know why I had the 8s marked there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I screwed up on something else. Oh well. As long as it cancels out. So 4. 4's go. Here and 8. 8. And 5. 8. 3. 5. 5. 3. 6. 3. 6. 3. 6. 3. And 6. And 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Bada bing, bada boom. That's it. Plenty of more issues to track down. I should make a to-do list. Let's put this on the next code hangout, which I don't know yet what the theme will be, but check. I think we have a short link here. Check. Pre-solved 0 in Chrome. Update. Update rule parser for a new test list. /chess. And yeah, we need to figure out how to handle the non-negative stuff. I wonder if if the XV adding, because basically what I'm doing is I'm detecting XVs and then adding them as killer cage constraints, basically saying, hey, these two cells are a killer cage that add up to 5, because that's what they are. But it doesn't really add a lot. And detecting these reliably is tricky. And especially since the setters expect a certain behavior, and then my tool will not behave like that. So, yeah. All right, that's it for today. Bit rambly. Thanks again, everybody, for the support. There have been some awesome new patrons recently. Like Kinnison joined, and he's working on a tool as well. And hopefully, my work from yesterday will be continued this week, so I can get down to generating thumbnails for him. And all the other supporters on Patreon make all this stuff go around, and it's very much appreciated. So if you use the tool and you appreciate it and you get some joy out of it, check out patreon.com/SvenCodes and see what you can do. Everything's appreciated. In the meantime, take care, have a good day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.